Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to a brand new episode of Last Call at McLaren'S. I am Josh Rayner, and I am here with my best friend, my brother, John. How you doing today?
What's up, everybody? I'm doing really good. Slice and dice, how you holding up?
You know, I'm doing pretty well, and I gotta say, every time I hear that theme song, it gets me pumped. I love it. I love our theme.
Your work on making that theme was extravagant. Sounds just like an opening that I could hear playing for a TV show. You got a nice little montage going. Throw us in at the end. You got yourself one fuck of a podcast.
Hells yeah. It's awesome. If you guys are listening on like Anchor or Apple Podcasts or Spotify, I highly recommend heading over to the YouTube channel just to check out that intro once. If watching isn't quite your thing, I still recommend just checking out that intro.
I mean, if you don't want to see two fat dudes shooting shit, this probably isn't the video to watch. But like he said, at least check out the opening.
I mean, that opening, steak sauce. Yeah.
It's A1.
Steak sauce, baby. But yeah, we are here. Brand new episode. And as you can see down at the bottom, we're talking about Season 1, Episode 5. Okay, awesome.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. First aired October 17th of 2005. Directed by Pamela Fryman, who, I've said her name every episode for the last now 5 episodes. And I looked up, I was like, well, how much does she direct, Apparently, she is one of the main, she is the main director on this show. She does every episode in Season 1, every episode in Season 9, and all but like 12 episodes throughout the rest of the series.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she is like we're gonna hear her name a lot as we go through this podcast. But it was this episode was written by Chris Harris. This guy goes on to write quite a few episodes throughout this show. Usually like 2 to 3 every season. He had some pretty key ones as I was kind of looking through. He wrote the Fiero episode.
Okay.
He wrote Everything Must Go. He did the butterfly tattoo episode. He did the front porch episode and a whole bunch.
So a bunch of
other good ones.
Real key episodes.
Yeah, a whole bunch of real good ones going on throughout his career as a writer on this show. So it's funny because we talked about, off air about this episode and the episodes that surround it. And I know you had some opinions on that.
Well, I do. And like you said, we were talking about it off air. And, episodes 1 through 4 so far have been very pivotal in setting up characters. And, this is how the character development is going. This is where we're going to build. It's Ted and Robin right now. Ted's interested in Robin and trying to settle down. And then you get to this episode. And this episode, in its own way, if you were to pluck it from Season 1, it wouldn't affect anything. Because this episode is very forgettable. Doesn't really set up anything. It doesn't really have any point. And even because we were going to record episodes 4, 5, and 6 together. And then we were going to post them on Mondays. So I had watched all 3 episodes at the same time. And I forgot about this episode when we were getting ready to record that night.
Yeah, I mean, it's surrounded by 2 fantastic episodes.
Yeah.
You got the Natalie birthday episode and then episode 6, which is the Slutty Pumpkin. Those are like key episodes where when I think about How I Met Your Mother, those are some of the ones that pop into my mind fairly early on,
Yeah, well, especially Slutty Pumpkin. It sets up Halloween's to come.
Yeah, exactly. And so, it's just, there's been so many, in just these short episodes, the short few that we've done, so many key episodes that I'm like, damn, Season 1 was packed with stuff that I forget was done in Season 1. It's so crazy.
The other thing that we talked about off air, and I'll bring it up because it really doesn't affect the episode, so it's not like it's a spoiler. But the one key thing that really comes out of this episode is there's an introduction of a character that you only meet once in this episode, and she doesn't come back until 6 or 7 seasons later, and it's for a brief appearance for maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah, if not even, I don't think that, honestly, maybe 3 minutes, really.
Maybe.
Yeah. Which we'll talk about her when we get
there. We'll talk about her when we get there, but I'm just saying, like, overall, she serves no real purpose to this episode. You could have taken her out and put anybody else there.
Yeah. I mean, I like this episode, but it's definitely not, it's not even as good as the other four and the next one that we are going to do as well. So it's definitely, of the like first 6 episodes of the series, it's the weakest, I think. Personally.
I would agree with you.
Okay. But yeah, we're going to get into it. So the summary for this episode, for episode 5, Okay, Awesome. Ted and Barney join Robin at a nightclub where she is on the VIP list. Meanwhile, Lily and Marshall host a wine and cheese tasting night with other couples at the apartment. All right. I have a side note for this episode. This is one of the few episodes where Barney does not wear a suit.
Like I said, I don't think I noticed that at all.
Yeah. It's crazy to me. Because that's the biggest thing, and Barney wears a suit, and I know that there have been a small number of episodes where he doesn't wear a suit.
Yeah,
but I did not think it was that early on in the show.
What was he wearing then when they were in the club?
That like shiny shirt, that shiny silver shirt.
Oh my God, you're right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's why I didn't think about it, because I was like, yeah, he's got the shiny shirt on with like the nice slacks.
Yeah.
He's like,
For those of you on the podcast, listening, you just missed out on John doing a pretty epic dance. Another reason to watch it on YouTube. Oh, goodness. All right. So we start off the episode, future Ted telling his kids that he's going to tell them a story of the time he went deaf.
I think the better question is, when is Ted not telling his kids a story?
I know. He's supposed to be telling them how he met their mother.
Yep.
Yeah, every time we freaking hear from this dude, he's like, oh, did I tell you about this story? If I was those kids, I'd be like, shut the fuck up, Dad. And just tell us the damn story of how you met Mom.
Well, and that's the thing.
Stop it.
This is one of those episodes, has nothing to do with the future,
Yeah. Not at all.
At all.
No. I mean, they kind of like, they want to tease you when he meets, I mean, we don't hold spoilers on this show. We don't care. So, like, when he meets the coat check girl,
yeah,
like, I think they're kind of wanting you to wonder, oh, is this going to be her? Because, it's the first season, and no one knows how the show is going to go down. No one knows how long the show is going to last. So they're, I feel like they're throwing like these random girls, and they're like, oh, is this how he meets her? And it's going to play out for the rest of the season? I don't know. It's not.
Every girl he comes across, you're like, oh, Ted's going to whore himself out again.
Yep.
Oh, he's going to get his heart broke. Poor Ted.
Yep. As the show goes on, you're just like, you almost become numb to like all these girls that come through his life. You're like, it's not going to be her.
Honestly,
it's not going to be her.
To quote Marshall in a later episode, I follow the Marshall route. I became cynical where I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, Ted? You know you're not going to end up with this girl. Why the fuck are you going to hurt her and fucking just go back to being like, I'm destined to be with somebody, but I haven't found her.
It's so true, man. Like,
fuck you, Ted.
Like, I love this show, but Ted is kind of a tool most of the time.
And he put more effort into his jobs than he did in finding the one.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Oh, it's true. It's totally true. So then we cut to the bar. Robin is telling the guys to say that they are her bitch. Ted, of course. Yeah, man, I'm your bitch. Ted, of course, obliges. Robin then reveals that she is on the list for a hot new nightclub called Club OK, and offers to bring Ted and Barney. But while she asks if she should add Marshall and Lily, the guys laugh and explain that because Lily has become embarrassed of her perceived immaturity, that they are no longer doing that sort of thing. we see a cutscene of Marshall and Lily deciding to have a wine tasting party. And so this is where the two kind of streams of this episode are set up. You know, we're going to have we're going to have Robin, Barney, and Ted on one side. We're going to have Marshall and Lily kind of going off doing their own thing until we get toward the end where, you know, as usual, it merges at some point. All right, so Robin tells Ted that she'll introduce him to her friend Kelly, her hot friend Kelly.
Her hot friend.
Yeah, Barney doesn't believe it at first. I mean, we meet Kelly, and she's hot. I'm just saying. Later that night, Ted comes out in his blazer that Lily loves, and then Barney comes in with a shiny silver shirt, which Lily makes fun of. He makes a comment about there being 24 similarities between women and fish, and says to Lily, "You really never read my blog, do you?" This is the first time the blog is actually mentioned since the pilot episode.
Yeah.
And it's funny because we've been doing the blog at the end of every episode. This list is detailed in the blog.
Is it?
And we will talk about it later on. Yeah, all 24 similarities will be down here. There are actually 3 entries for the blog this week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's the other 2 are short, but he did 3 throughout the week, I guess you could say, leading to this party. So they get ready to leave. Barney makes a gay joke after Marshall tells him that they would be pairing some wines with some gourmet cheeses. This is another one of those Barney being cringy moments. It doesn't quite hold up.
No, but it's funny because it does make me think about future Marshall and how the only thing he ever is allowed to bring to parties is the cheese platter.
Yes.
And he's always very like
Gouda. Yeah. The big wheel of Gouda.
The big wheel of Gouda.
That they got off the internet. No, yeah. At the club, Barney lays out his plan to get a girl, which Ted is very skeptical of. Robin comes out and gets them into the club. I have another little side note here. Outside the club are 3 geeky guys hoping to get in. Yep. One of which is Sam Levine, who some of you may know from shows like Freaks and Geeks. He's in the movie Inglourious Bastards.
Not another teen movie?
Yeah, not another teen movie. Some of you may know him from the movie Trivia Schmodown. He's pretty big.
Oh, I didn't know he was on that.
Yeah, he's he was a big time player in it a while ago, and now he's one of the main managers over there now. So, yeah,
he's a really good actor, though.
Oh yeah, absolutely, dude. He pops up in everything.
He does indeed.
I mean, everything. I swear, it's ridiculous. At the back at the apartment, we get Marshall and Lily. They have a bunch of random people over, and they start talking about having kids. Marshall says, "Kids make you old. They weigh you down." One of the women then reveals that she is pregnant. So Marshall tries to make it a little less awkward, unsuccessfully, and then just gets up and walks away, heads to the kitchen. I would probably do the same thing. I don't know.
There was no backpedaling out of that one, though. Like he tried so hard, and she's just scowling at him the whole. Like, bitch, just accept the apology and walk away from it. It's whatever.
Yeah.
It's not like you're wearing a shirt that says "I'm pregnant."
It's true. Now, if they said this in the episode, I didn't catch it. Do we know who these people are?
Nope. They're just like a random set of Lily's friends that I think one of them was one of the teachers like she knows like from school.
Okay. I was gonna say because I don't remember them like specifically stating how they know these people, and I'm just like, I feel like Marshall doesn't really know these people.
Probably. I mean, to quote one of our favorite little side shows, we're introduced to this group of people, and we never seen them again because they probably fucking killed themselves.
100%. I was hoping that you'd say that.
I mean, I'm going to go for that open door if it's there.
Absolutely. Back at the club, Ted checks his coat, and then they head inside where it's so loud that they cannot hear. So Ted checks his coat, like I said. That's the first time we see Coat Check Girl. We don't get really any interaction with her. We just see her.
We know she's there.
Yeah. And then Barney finds a girl to grind on, and the night is off.
Yep.
Then we go back.
The other dude walks away.
It's true. Which I think is hilarious. I mean, it's obviously that's his plan. He goes in, scopes out the place, waits for a dude to slide away, and he slides in his place. It was an obvious plan. It's an obvious Barney plan.
It also worked.
It did 100%, and it would have been a perfect plan, except for what happens later on, which we'll get to. Back at the apartment, Marshall is talking to Lily in the kitchen, mocking the guests. And then he turns around and the pregnant woman is standing right there.
So great.
It's like, at that point, why are these people even staying there? I don't know, man.
You can clearly tell you're not wanted at this point. Or that Marshall's clearly just not having a night. Just fucking make an excuse. Leave. Go home.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know what? We got I forgot. I left my stove on. I gotta get out of here.
Why?
That's an inside joke for you folks. I hope you enjoy being on the outside of an inside joke. Then Lily grabs the wine and suggests they start drinking. But one of the guys says they need to let it breathe.
Let the tannins breathe.
Let those tannins mellow for about 30 minutes. You know what, man? I don't think I have ever in my life let tannins mellow in any sort of wine that I've ever had.
Well, first off, no offense.
I don't drink a lot of wine.
Cheap wine.
That's true too.
When you get more of the expensive wines, like the $20, $30 bottles, they do in fact recommend that when you open a bottle, you let it breathe, and it's supposed to help the flavors set and stuff like
it's supposed to let the tannins mellow.
You know what? Just because you've watched an episode of How I Met Your Mother doesn't make you a wine connoisseur, John.
I've also watched an episode of Parks and Recreation where they talk about wine.
I went to a liquor store selling wine. You want to be what's the word?
I don't know. A sommelier?
A Somalian. That's what it is.
No, not a Somalian. That's somebody from Somalia. A sommelier.
You want to be a sommelier?
No, I do not.
You want to pair a nice red wine with some fish?
No, but I will take all the cheese you got. That is true.
Fair enough.
That is true. Back at the club, Robin attempts to get into the VIP room and is turned away. So this starts a kind of a downfall for Robin throughout the night. Things just don't go well for her starting
kind
here.
Of also creates a C storyline off the A storyline.
Yeah, it really does. Which I like, it's making you follow little things here and there.
It really is.
Because it really fits with what's happening in the episode. You got this chaotic party going on.
Yep. So
it makes sense that you got all these little storylines happening that you have to try to follow, and it feels almost chaotic. It really, I think it sets that tone.
Yes, and I'm 100% with you on that one.
Yeah.
I think it absolutely sets the tone for what is to come in this episode.
Then back at the club, Ted continues to try to talk to Kelly with no luck, and he goes off to get her a drink.
I was gonna say, I love that he's saying things, and you clearly they're giving you the
subtitles,
the subtitle, and she's like, oh, and he's like, you can't even understand what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. I have done that. I'm going to be honest. I have absolutely done. I've been to a few parties where it's just way too loud, and I've done that. Just said something weird. So I can't blame Ted for that. Because again, I have 100% done that.
Fair enough.
We bounce back to the apartment. The guests are watching Claire's ultrasound video, and Marshall is obviously bored out of his mind.
Bored.
Lily says that Claire and Austin have invited them to their fondue fest the following weekend, which I find very surprising, John. Seeing as Claire's the pregnant woman, and Marshall has made a fool of himself twice.
Yes.
Kind of. I mean, I feel like he'd be on her bad side by now. Yet they're inviting them to Fondue Fest.
I think it's more of a, we want to invite Lily, but you can't invite one without the other.
I guess that, you're probably right there.
Not to mention, I think it's Marshall's response to the invite that makes me laugh even greater. Don't try to make it sound better with hot cheese, Lily. Like,
hey, I mean,
that is, if not a me and you answer.
Yeah.
Like, I know for a fact, both of us have at least dated people, and you know exactly who I'm talking about. It was an 07-08 thing where we didn't want to go to shit, but we went because we had to be supportive.
Yep.
And it sucks.
Yep.
And then they would be like, well, there's going to be this there. And they're like, look, you can tell me it's an open bar. That does not make it better, okay? It just means that there's going to be fucking beer there.
That's true.
So I feel Marshall on this one.
Yeah, absolutely. Marshall goes on to say that that these are they're boring people, and Lily says it's time for them both to just grow up. It's like what? That. Yeah, growing up doesn't mean being willfully boring or doing things in your free time that you actively dislike.
Absolutely.
No, that's not what that means, and
no.
I mean I feel like they kind of figure that out for themselves throughout the episode. Marshall then heads to the bathroom and decides to leave by jumping out a third-story window. Future Ted explains that he's not sure if this is actually what happened, but it's what Marshall says happened. And this is kind of the beginning of the unreliable narrator trope that we get from Ted. From Future Ted specifically throughout this, because there are some key episodes that we get to later on where it's like I can't trust what Ted is telling us.
Nope.
One in particular is the first time he mentions the goat.
Yes,
because he thinks
he can't actually remember what birthday.
Yeah, because he tells all this stuff about the goat, and then he's like, "Wait a minute, this was the wrong birthday."
There's another big instance too, the Barney Lily fight when she's pregnant.
Oh yeah,
and he has the whole story backwards and he can't remember key facts.
Yeah,
but then he remembers all of a sudden oh, Lily was pregnant and this is what it was over, and then they fill it back in with the right facts and it's like, wow, took you telling the story to remember the facts like that?
I know, right? I mean, part of me kind of relates to it because there are plenty of times where I have a hard time remembering stories.
I mean, I get it. I'm not saying it's not feasible. I'm just saying that.
But if he's gonna tell this giant story, get your facts straight, bro.
I mean, he can't even remember blah blah's name.
What was her name? Carol, that's right.
You're welcome.
Oh, shit, that's hilarious. So then back at the club, Ted tries to get some drinks, but the bartender is ignoring him. He finally gets 2 beers, and it costs him $34.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck that.
Yeah, I'd hand them right back.
I have a question for John. What is the most that you have ever paid for a beer, and what is the most you'd be willing to pay?
Most I've ever paid for a bottle of beers was $4 a piece, and that is the most.
That's actually not bad.
Really?
I mean, you go to like a Darien Lake, or like a theme park or something like that, or a big concert or something.
Yeah,
I mean,
$7.
Yeah, and you're probably
nope.
Yeah, so
that's why I said the most. You asked me my opinion.
Oh yeah, no,
I'm telling you. A standard bottle of beer cost me $4. And there, when she told me that, I was like, I'll take the one that's in my hand. The rest of the night, just bring me waters. Fuck that.
Yeah. That's compared to some other places, that's one of the more reasonable, high-priced beers that I have heard.
Most of the places I've ever been to, which mind you are typically bars, $2.50 to $2.75 a beer.
Yeah.
That I can tolerate.
Yeah.
Anything more than that, I'm like, Might as well get a fucking mixed drink.
This better be a good fucking beer. You know what I mean?
Better be. And let me tell you, my $4 one was fucking warm. It wasn't even ice cold.
If I'm paying $17 for a beer, that thing better be the best fucking beer in the world.
I agree. It better be like freshly brewed but ice cold.
That beer better give me an orgasm. That's all I'm saying. At the apartment, the guests are talking about some boring music. Lily just wants to drink, but she can't, as the tannins just aren't ready.
They're just not ready.
Damn those tannins. Damn those tannins.
It's like fucking tannins.
This is the way I look at it. This is her party. They're at her apartment. It's not like it's at one of these other people's apartments. Like, if she wants to fucking drink, like, why is she letting these other people control her party? You know?
Here's the better question for you. You're going to a wine and cheese party.
Mm-hmm.
The moment you arrive there, you know that you're going to end up drinking said bottle of Cabernet or whatever.
Yeah.
Why did you not open it then and start letting it breathe so that the hour could pass so that when people want fucking wine, it's ready?
Yeah, exactly. You know, if these people are all like, oh, yeah, you've got to let the tannins mellow. Well, then they should have been responsible for saying, okay, we need to open up the wine around this time so that it'll be ready around this time. Okay.
I mean, there should have been.
Yeah.
Or there should have been a cheap bottle of wine that could be consumed during the process until the good official bottle of wine was, again, fucking ready.
And if I'm Lily, I just go in the kitchen, pour myself a glass. I don't care. I mean, the rest of the tannins can mellow as I drink this unmellowed glass of wine.
100% agree.
You know? Yeah. That's the way I feel about that. At the bar, Ted starts just saying some weird stuff like we talked about since Kelly cannot hear him. But on his third go at this, the music just out of nowhere just stops.
I just wet my pants.
I'm wetting my pants. Kelly just looks like so weirded out and just goes off and dances with some other guy. I don't blame her. You know, I mean... But why did the music just drop out suddenly like that?
Dude, it happens sometimes.
That I feel like that is a bad DJ.
Have you not seen the Lose Yourself video?
I don't know. I mean, it's probably been a very long time. I'm just saying though, I feel like a dance club, if you're switching to something, you got to have they have to like blend.
They're supposed to, but
I'm pretty sure nothing. I'm pretty sure it didn't switch songs. I'm pretty sure it just stopped.
Maybe it was just a skip in the record
and then picked back up. And I'm like, I think that DJ, I think he saw what Ted was doing. I think he saw it.
He's a mouth reader. He's like, oh, that son of a bitch.
He's like, oh, I'm gonna mess with that guy. Yeah, perfect time. Oh, sorry, man. Oh, you're wetting your pants? My bad. Here's some music.
To quote Eminem, oops, my CD just skipped and everyone just heard you let one rip. Mm-mm.
Yep, exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Johnny with the pop culture references.
From how long ago? This is like your version of the Hanging Chad, which we'll get to in the next episode. That thing is so many years old by now. All right, so outside the bar, Robin is on the phone trying to call the owner to find out why she can't get into the VIP area. Marshall comes running up, and she gets him into the club. The three geeks, they think he's famous. They decide that must be the third Affleck brother, Brian Affleck, which I thought
Brian
Affleck. If I ever meet Jason Segel, I think I want to call him Brian Affleck. I don't know if he would get the reference, to be honest with you.
I hope he would.
But I want to do it. You know, I think it would be great. Yeah. As Robin's on the phone, a new bouncer comes out. And so when she tries to get back in, he won't let her because her name's already been crossed off the list. I'm like, is there no communication here? Like, that dude, the first guy, saw Robin come out, obviously knew who she was.
Yep.
When the other guy took over, he should have been like, yo, that girl right there, she's in. She just needed to make a phone call, make sure she gets back in. Okay, and that's it.
Well, I thought about something when this part of the episode happens. This is supposed to be some high-end club. Some like really high-end club. Why didn't they have some form of like a stamp or wristbands or something that people have been in.
Yeah.
Because in theory, she was in. She should have just been able to be like, look, here's my wristband. Yeah, I'm Robin Scherbatsky.
Yeah.
Or where was her fucking purse or her identification?
Yeah, that too. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure she probably either didn't bring it or she checked it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if she checked something, now she can't even get it.
Yeah.
You know?
And I mean, you're absolutely correct. It's one of those things where, you know, it's stupid because it should have actually played out and it didn't in turn.
Yeah.
So it is what it is, though. And I feel bad for her because, like you said, it should have never happened that way.
No, it definitely should have. So back inside, Barney is grinding on this girl. Ted tells him, whether or not she is cute.
Yes.
Because Barney's behind her. He can't see.
Nope.
Ted, he gives him the thumbs up and says that she's out of his league. Though he kind of I don't know if it's because he doesn't really say it because he can't hear anything.
No, they kind of do like a version of charades.
Yeah, and I'm just like, is that really I would never have gotten that. The out of the she's out of your league part.
That's
I'm like,
fair, but
I would never.
For people who are watching and not just listening, I can look at you and be like, and you know what I'm talking about. Other people are completely clueless.
It's true. It's true. It's very true. And for those of you listening, go watch and you'll see.
And if you know it, leave us a comment about it down below.
That's true. So Ted goes to leave, but as he goes to get his coat, Marshall comes in and stops him, calling the coat check girl coat wench. And, she thought that was a pretty good name. Which, you get your first kind of glimpse at the personality of this girl. Somebody who, when you first meet her, you don't think anything of it because she's just this random coat check girl. You know what I mean?
She's just this wench. Yeah,
and now we're kind of getting more kind of about her, kind of getting a feel for her personality. Which as the night goes on, we get a little bit more.
Yeah.
Marshall convinces Ted to go back in, but as Marshall takes a drink of beer, he pops off his temporary crown on his tooth, putting him into a lot of pain. I have a crown on one of my teeth, and man, I can't imagine just how much pain that would be in if that thing popped off. Like that would suck a whole lot. So I can the fact that he was able to he fought through that and just kept on partying, man, more power to Marshall. Yeah.
Well, I mean, he doesn't continue to party through it. They don't dive into that later.
It's true, but I mean, he tries. He does.
He does.
He is kind of doing his thing. He's trying, man. He's trying his hardest to just push through. So then back at the apartment, Lily discovers that Marshall's gone. She tries to call him, learns that he's at the club because why he answers the phone, I don't actually know.
The better question is, how did he hear his phone ring?
That maybe it was on vibrate. I don't know if that was a thing back in 2005.
I don't know.
But that's the only thing I could think of because there's no way he would have actually heard the phone. And then Lily jumps out the window just like Marshall.
And I love how Ted's like, again, I wasn't there for this, kids.
Yeah.
But this is what I'm told.
Yeah. Third story window, and then
she's wearing heel boots.
Yes. It just lands like nothing.
Superhero landing.
Yeah.
Just rough on the knees.
Right there. Lily finds Robin just sitting on the curb outside the club, kind of sulking. Inside, we see Marshall telling Barney about his tooth. Barney suggests looking for some aspirin in the bathroom. And for those of you who don't understand that reference, because there's very few places that do this anymore. But, back in the day, a lot of public bathrooms and clubs and places like that would have these little machines that you could get, aspirins or a condom or whatever. And I know in the women's room, there'd be tampons and pads and stuff. And then also pain medication, Tylenol, ibuprofen, aspirin, that kind of stuff. And it would be like 50 cents or something like that, whatever. You put a couple quarters in, and boom, you get it. I think in the guys, a lot of the guys ones also had like little things of cologne of times. Yeah, so
breath mints.
Yeah, so that's that's what it is.
Yeah,
that's what Barney is referencing. So I'm sure there's a lot of like younger kids out there who have no idea what the heck they're talking about.
They're not referencing drugs. Yeah, well, I mean, they are, but like,
it's like, why would there be aspirin in the bathroom? Well, that's why, right there. And so he goes in looking, for some aspirin, and he comes out visibly high. Like, I don't know if he took X or like Molly or something. I don't know what he took, but they
don't actually tell you.
But here's the thing. Where the fuck did he get it? Did he just go in there and ask somebody, oh, do you got, because I feel like Marshall wouldn't knowingly take narcotics. Okay. So like, I feel like what he did, he went in there, there was no machine, or there was no, if there was a machine, there was no aspirin or whatever in it. And there was somebody in there, and he probably asked them, and they gave him a pill.
Probably.
You know what I mean? That pill was probably ecstasy.
Probably.
And he's like, oh, thanks. He's in so much pain. He's not
Especially
thinking.
in a club like that, X would be the only thing that would make sense.
And so like, he's in so much pain. He's not really thinking, anything about it. He just takes it.
Takes it.
And then he is flying high, man. No pain, just soaring. And that's how I envision that whole bathroom situation going down. I don't know about you, but that's definitely how I
I pictured very something similar.
Yeah. So then Ted heads to the coat check and starts chatting up the coat check girl over there. Yeah, we get to see Ted work a little bit of his Ted charm. Then back outside, Lily and Robin talk about why Lily is acting like this with the wine party and everything. Lily decides to get them into the club by flashing the bouncer, and they both do it and let them in. The geeky guys are kind of in shock and awe. I mean, dude, we've had that happen.
Oh yeah. Well, the one dude literally says it's the 4 best and only breasts he's ever seen.
Yeah. It was pretty funny. Those guys are. I like the addition of just like the random geeky guys who want to get in the club who are just there. It added some nice levity to some of this. Where I mean, a lot of the stuff in the episode is funny, but like that just brought a little something extra to those outside scenes that would just kind of be like whatever.
You're absolutely correct.
Yeah. All right. So inside, Ted continuing to talk up the coat check girl again. Like I said. Mosby charm, full on display here. Then we go back to Robin and Lily. They enter the dance floor. They split up. Lily finds Marshall dancing in the center of the room. Everyone's watching. He's doing the robot, something that we established in one of the earlier episodes. It was either the pilot episode or the second episode where he does the robot for the first time.
Yep.
And we discussed on our episode when we talked about it, that this kind of becomes a thing. It was something that Jason Segel did on the fly in that episode.
Yeah.
And then they decided that the robot was going to be a Marshall Erickson thing throughout the show. And I love that they brought it back here so soon after that, So I love it because he's good at it, man. He's actually really good.
He's funny.
Yeah. I loved it. I loved it so much. Back at the apartment, someplace we haven't been in a bit.
Yeah,
the guests are still there. They don't seem to notice that Marshall and Lily are gone. They don't seem to care if they do notice, and they're just sitting there playing Trivial Pursuit.
Trivial Pursuit for the peace.
Yeah, I honestly, now that I'm sitting here talking about it, I did not notice whether or not any of them were drinking the wine. But now I'm kind of curious and kind of want to almost go back and rewatch it just to see if any of them were drinking the wine. Had the tannins mellowed by
Had the tannins mellowed.
Barney, we go back to, see him grinding some more on the girl. And then she finally turns around. And Barney is just taken aback. He discovers that it is his cousin Leslie.
Leslie!
And they're just disgusted, and she takes off. And John, we never see her again
because she probably fucking killed herself.
It's true.
I mean, after getting a fucking dick in your ass most of the night, only to find out it's your cousin. I mean,
it's true. It's true.
Makes me want to text Sherry.
Whew, I hope she's watching this episode.
I tell her specifically to watch this episode.
Yes. So then Ted says goodbye to the coat check girl, makes Barney tip her, and they don't specifically say it, but I'm looking at it. I'm pretty sure he just pulls out 100 and gives it to her.
It's a pretty big number.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right. I mean, we don't know what he does yet, but he's loaded. He's got a ton of money.
Oh, yeah. He's got money.
Yeah. All kinds of kizash.
But it's funny because you're right. And Ted doesn't really formally say goodbye or anything either. He just kind of leaves.
Yeah.
Doesn't even get coat check girl's number.
I feel like that's Ted Mosby for you.
Yeah, he's not a solid closer.
He's not. Ted is not a closer. He's really not. So they go to get Marshall, but he and Lily are, in the club making out. Ted and Barney and Robin are just kind of glad to see them, enjoying themselves.
Yeah.
But they instantly regret it as they begin doing something off screen. Who knows what?
It's Marshall and Lily. It's something dirty. It's
Marshall and Lily. They're always doing something. Then they're all in a cab, and I'm bummed it's not Ranjit.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. Except for Robin. She's not there. They're yelling because they can't hear. We started off this episode with future Ted telling his kids about the night that he went deaf.
The night he went deaf.
And obviously, you get into the cab and they kind of showcase that they can't hear because of the club. Marshall is upset that he wasn't invited to the club. Ted tells him that he wishes he could do stuff like wine tastings with the right girl. It goes back to the whole Ted looking for the one.
Looking for love in Alderaan places?
Yes, Alderaan places. But I feel like Ted isn't really looking that hard.
No, not at this point.
Like you said, he didn't even get the coat check girl's number.
Nope.
Come on, bro. What are you doing?
The funny thing is later on when we see her, it's a manifest of her. No, she actually walks in that episode, so never mind.
Yeah, she walks in, but everything all the talking and stuff is all in his head.
Well, I was going to say, we never see her again. She probably fucking killed herself. But then I realized, no, she actually walks into the bar in that episode.
Yeah, I mean, we don't see her again after that, so who knows?
She was on a date, though, that night.
That's true. Maybe she spotted Ted and then got so upset that she probably fucking killed herself. And for anybody out there's like, why are they saying that? That is so morbid. Jeez. Go watch the Zach Morris's trash episodes from, I don't even know who makes those.
I don't know who makes them either. I think they're College Humor or something like that.
But just look up Zach Morris's trash and you'll know exactly what we're talking about. Marshall does some stuff. Marshall says that I lost my place again. I'm going to edit this out. Marshall says that maybe it'll be the coat check girl. And future Ted pops in and just says, it wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Which I think is hilarious because, again, we get to see her one more time.
Yep.
And, he already spoils that it's not her. So,
that's true.
She pops in and then we get all that other, the kind of back and forth.
Yeah,
with Ted in that episode, which I think it's funny because by that time most people probably have forgotten that specific line that takes place.
Probably,
you know what I mean? Because I'll be honest, I forgot that he said that future Ted said that. So it was nothing. Seeing her later on, I was never affected by that line. So
that's fair.
And the best part of that scene, I thought, was Barney just not being in the loop at all, while they're in the cab, and just kind of blurting out random things.
Yep.
Which I thought was great. And so, and that's how the episode wraps up. You have any thoughts, any extra thoughts about
not
episode
really.
5?
Not for this one.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we talked about at the beginning. It's kind of it's an okay episode. As the episode is titled, "Okay, awesome." It's
Okay,
definitely
awesome.
more okay than it is awesome. Just saying.
It's pretty okay. Kind of awesome.
Yeah, it leans more toward the okay side of things. All right, so we are going to get in to a segment on this show that we like to call Barney's Blog. That's right, where we talk about the entry in the official Barney's Blog for this episode. And like I said, there are 3 entries for this episode.
That's crazy.
All right, the first one is titled Shooting Women in a Barrel. And it was dated Thursday, October 13th, 2005, 8:30 p.m. And Barney kind of talks about, getting into this club and talks about his what he called the Euro shirt. That's his silver shirt with a reflective. It looks like a reflective disco ball. That's what he says here. Huh. And he gives us the entire list, the 24 ways in which women are like fish that he talks about in the episode. And I'm going to go over this list. And John, just let me know if there's any that kind of catch your eye.
All right.
Or your ear, as the case may be. All right, number 1. Both are attracted to shiny objects.
Well, that's an obvious thing.
Yeah, 2, more fun to catch while drinking. 3, neither travel well. 4, there's others in the sea and or bar. 5, 3 words, catch and release. 6, both travel in protective groups. 7, small bladders. 8,
I feel like that's a bad one.
What, small bladders?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. But I mean, I'm sure fish have small bladders. But, just means they have to pee a lot. And if they're anything like Lily, it's true, as we see in future episodes.
True.
Number 8, the deeper you go, the scarier they get. Number 9, their weight largely determines their value. That's typical Barney misogyny right there. Yep. Like, come on, Barney. Number 10, it says edited. My lawyer was requested that I remove this one from the blog. Hint, crabs. Has something to do with crabs, apparently. Number 11, they get all ornery if you try to grab their tail. Number 12, bears will eat either of them. Like, okay, sure.
It's a period joke.
Number 13, sometimes I like some wild. Sometimes I like some farm raised. Number 14, you must document great catches or no one will believe you. Video preferred. That's the classic pics or it didn't happen situation right there. Number 15, easier to reel in if you let them wear themselves out first. Number 16, seen the movie Splash? Case closed. Okay. Merc people. Yeah, I got you. Now, John, real quick on that note, would you rather have a typical mermaid where it's the human top, fish bottom, or the other way around? You tell me you don't want to bang a fish head? Come on.
No, don't. I'm good.
What if it's a dolphin head?
No.
Does that work any better for you?
No.
What about a squid head?
No.
What if it's got tentacles and can do some weird stuff to you?
No.
Good stuff. Number 17. This one is accompanied by a picture, which I don't have, so I'm not going to put it up there. But you can go and look on the blog. It says "Cold-blooded, looking your way, Stacy," and then it has a picture of who I'm assuming is Stacy. Number 18. Neither can operate a vehicle. Number 19. They both eat things. Like, really, they both eat things. Number 20, the harder they shake their tail, the further they'll go in life. Number 21, scales are important to each of them. Number 22, they never have to buy drinks. Number 23, eggs. Duh. And number 24, can hook either with a great line. And that, my friends, is the 24 ways that, according to Barney Stinson, women are like fish. So, John, it's an interesting list. What are your thoughts?
Fucking typical Barney.
It is, man. Like, I'll be honest. I was a little embarrassed reading through that list because some of those are really like they do
outdated.
not. Oh, dude, like so much. It's so bad. It is so bad, but it is. But here's my question: I wonder who actually wrote them and how they felt writing them. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, back in the early 2000s, it wasn't cringy to write that shit yet.
Yeah, I mean,
I wonder how they feel about writing that stuff now, though.
Yeah. I'm curious what they, if they go back, they look back at the stuff like that, how they feel about it. I've always wondered stuff like that. So I don't know. It's interesting. But that was only the first of 3. There are 2 more blog posts. We got a second one here called Update. It is dated Friday, October 14th, 2005 at 7:19 p.m. So this is the following day from the post we just saw. And I'm just going to read this one. It's short. It's a short little paragraph. It says, Robin got us on the list for that new club, okay. As a rule, I only frequent clubs where admittance is contingent upon a series of passwords, hidden stairwells, and a dress code that leans toward the formal, but my buddy Ted really, really wants to go. Rather than listen to him cry like a little girl, I have Euro shirted up, prepared to procure maximum layage and with minimal effort, and will post my review of Club OK upon my return. All right. And so then the final blog post are his findings. And this is dated Saturday, October 15th, 4:36 a.m. So it's that night after.
Yeah, I was gonna say pretty much when they're getting home.
Yeah. And he gives, he starts off with a ranking. He says, Club OK, high 2 out of a possible high 5.
Wow.
Which I think is hilarious that that's how he does his ranking.
I mean, that's a great ranking system for him.
Yeah. And it has like a little picture where it's like a silhouette of 2 people high-fiving. And so there's 2 of them that are in black and the others are like outlines. So I thought that was pretty clever. And so it says, it turns out OK is barely adequate, exhibiting a marked lack of grindable cutlets. Quick suggestion for Club OK, LASIK eye surgery for the bouncers. The situation inside couldn't get much uglier, and I mean that. Let's just say in a pond this small, you'd have better luck catching a fish at a family reunion. Barney out. Then they show a picture of like the front door area of the club. Yeah. It says Club OK's UGMO-friendly defenses. And then the last thing that they have on this blog, it says, I am, of course, kidding about the family reunion thing. That was a joke. Like, he felt the need to go back in and reiterate that.
That's great.
Yeah. I do believe wholeheartedly that his review of this club was completely steered by what happened.
Absolutely.
Which has nothing to do with the club. You know what I mean?
Nothing to do with the club.
The first girl he went for and was there the whole, because like there were plenty of other girls. But the one he
night on one.
But the one he picked, unfortunately for him, was his cousin, and that ruined night for him. So it is what it is. But so yeah, there it is. Season 1, episode 5 of How I Met Your Mother. Okay, awesome. John, Woo! Final thoughts.
Good episode.
Yeah,
it was okay.
It was okay. Could have been awesome, but it wasn't. All right, so if you got nothing else, tell everybody where they can find you on the web.
The usual places: Twitter, Facebook. Look me up. Find me. You do the work this week.
Yeah, you can go that way, right down there, and see his Twitter handle. That's right. And then you can go right down here and see my Twitter handle at Movie Blog Merc. That is the Twitter page for my site, Merc with Movie Blog. You can also find me on Twitter at JP Raynor. That's JPRAYNOR. Always hit me up wherever you can. I'll talk. And you can always find us, Last Call at McLaren's, on Twitter, on Anchor, if you like listening to podcasts, at Last Call HIMYM. That's Last Call HIMYM. And I like to post all kinds of random How I Met Your Mother stuff over there.
He does.
So interact. Let us know what you thought about this episode. And if you have suggestions or anything like that, let us know. We're always here to hear, we're always willing to hear your thoughts and take your comments. But if you're a dick, then we're going to tell you to fuck off. Simple as that. That's right.
That's true.
It's true. So join us next time as we talk about The Slutty Pumpkin. It's going to be a good one. I hope you guys are excited. But until then, John, what do you got for them?
Don't have to go home, but you don't have to listen to us here.
That's right.
Peace.
Catch you later.